Chapter 1 Episode 18 Face-to-Face Meeting. The next day, 8 men and women were gathered at the Adventurers Guild first thing in the morning. Yo, Wilana. You guys here too? Well, if it isn't Jeff. You were invited too? What do you think today's about? Dunno, and neither do the others. There's nothing we have in common, not rank, nor age, nor race. We were trying to figure out the criteria for our selection. Do you have any ideas? You lot are the only ones invited as a party. We don't know either. The most we have in common is being female beastkin. But that's unrelated, no? Yeah? I'm a man, and a human to boot. The others are 2 humans, a dwarf, and a dragonoot. Gender and species are definitely unrelated. Just then, one more female beastkin entered the room. Good morning. NYA. Wilanya, Mizelia, and Celia were called here too. You were summoned too, Mia? That's right, NYA. I got back yesterday evening and the receptionist told me to come here today. I didn't expect the 3 of you to be here too, NYA. Neither did we. Hey, aren't you smelling a lotter now? Did you finally move away from the trash mansion? You refused to listen when we told you to move away from that place. Did you finally reach your limit? No, NYA. I'm still living in that house now. I know it was like that, but I still paid a pretty penny for it. It'd be a waste not to live there, NYA. Then why has the smell weakened so much? Actually, the day before yesterday, someone accepted the cleaning request I put through the guild, NYA. They cleaned it up neatly for me. They cleaned that hellish room with the infinite stench of death. Wow, I was surprised too, NYA. But they really cleaned everything in under 2 hours, even fixing the hole in the wall for me. Apparently, it was cleaned with magic. The room was sparkling after, NYA. That's amazing in itself. Who was it? A new kid, it seemed. He was probably under 13 years old, and had a big basket weaved from wood and vine, NYA. The man called Jeff reacted to those characteristics. Oh. Under 13 with a big basket? Was that guy called Ryoma by any chance? That's right, NYA. That was what he called himself. What you know of him, Jeff? Only in passing. I saw him being called out by the old man the other day and he looked pretty lost, so I told him the old man was just being a meddling busybody. He sure talked politely for a brat though. He really was a polite kid, NYA. Just then, one more person entered the room. When Mia saw him, she yelled. Excuse me, It's the kid, NYA. Mia? You and Jeff are here too, I see. Hey, sup? So you were called too? We were just talking about you. About me? That was when the woman called Wilana stepped before Ryoma. So you're Ryoma, is it? Nice to meet you. I'm the dog beastkin, Wilana. I've known Mia for a long time now, and we're former party members. You were the one who cleaned Mia's house, I hear. I'm surprised. How did you clean such a house? Buying the house was one thing, but when the wall collapsed. Well, you saw that sorry state, right? The smell was too much for us scent-sensitive beastkin, and Mia just wouldn't listen to us when we told her to move. I'm a tiger beastkin, Mizelia. It's nice to meet you. I'm Celia, a rabbit beastkin. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Ryoma Takebashi. It's lovely to meet you all too. These 3 are the people I used to work with in the same party. When the smell of the house seeped all over myself, I knew it was too tough for them, especially for a dog beastkin like Wilanya, but I couldn't give up the house, so I dropped out of the party. I had caused a lot of trouble for them elsewhere too, NYA. Mia can be a little stubborn at times, no matter what anyone said. She insisted on living there because she had bought it. Honestly, it's impressive that she lived there for 5 whole years. 5 years there? That must have been quite the ordeal. Ryoma couldn't find the right words to say. That was when Jeff addressed Ryoma. By the way, you had that basket the day before yesterday too, didn't you? What's inside it? My familiars are in this basket. I'm a tamer. Huh? So you're a tamer? What do you have? Several varieties of slimes. I'm still a trainee. Slimes are slow to move around, so it's faster to put them in a basket and carry them myself. It wouldn't be good to upset the townspeople either. I see, makes sense. That was when the guildmaster came in. Good, looks like everyone's here. Take a seat anywhere. Everyone moved to a seat at those words. Now, I'm going to explain the reason why I called you all here. But first, I need you all to take a vow of secrecy on the information you're about to hear. Those who cannot swear secrecy may leave the room. Just so you know, you don't have to accept the job after you hear the details I'm about to give. As long as you don't leak the information to outsiders, you may refuse the job after listening. There'll be no penalty either. Hearing that made everyone nod without hesitation. All right. Then let's start with why you guys were selected. Firstly, you're all trustworthy and tight-lipped. And secondly, you all have disease-resistant skills. You do all have that, right? Indeed, I do. You should know best, old man. I'm formerly from the slums. Anyone living there would have level 1 or 2 disease resistance. Though I'm at 5. We've all contracted an epidemic in the past too, while out on a job out of town. Thankfully it was just a lighter epidemic and we all returned alive, but we obtained the skill too. I believe we were all at level 3, right? Mine rose to level 4. I don't want to admit it, but it's probably because I lived in that trash heap, NYA. After that, the rather experienced-looking dwarf adventurer made a guess at the job details, which another young adventurer reacted to in a panic. If the job needs disease resistance, is it an epidemic? Did one break out? Calm your horses, share. While Gordon is right about the topic being an epidemic, it hasn't spread yet. Yet meaning it's appeared in 1 or 2 people? No, the infected location was just discovered by coincidence. The one who discovered it is Ryoma over there, and there haven't been any patients yet. Those words attracted everyone's attention onto Ryoma at once. But Worgen the guildmaster continued with an explanation of the situation, describing the nature of scavenger slimes and how they judged it was an epidemic. And that's the story. The fact the scavenger slime's disease resistance rose from level 5 to 7 meant that level 6 wasn't enough to completely resist it. So it's assumed that the epidemic has run rampant in a section, or perhaps all, of the cesspits. The job this time is to stop the epidemic before it spreads to town. Furthermore, it's expected that there will be great chaos if the town finds out about this. Thus, actions must be taken with the utmost secrecy. So our job is to deal with the epidemic. In other words, clean the pit toilets. No, the 9 of you won't be doing that work. Ryoma will be the only one entering the cesspits to clean them. Hold it. You're gonna make that single kid do all the work? Isn't that a bit too much, no matter how you think of it? Children are at greater risk of getting sick. It's far too dangerous. It's impossible to ask a single person to clean all the pit toilets of the town. A single cesspit is a job for 10 men, you know. I considered that myself, but this is for the best. First, Ryoma already used his slimes to clean one of the pits yesterday, finishing it in a day. Next, even among the 9 of you, the highest disease resistance level is Jeff, with level 5. If the epidemic can't be resisted by a level 6 disease resistance, you're still at high risk. But in that regard, Ryoma's health level is 7. He has the lowest risk of contracting the disease among you all, and on top of that, his life enhancement is level 3, super recovery level 3, and stamina enhancement level 6. Even if he contracts the disease, he has the highest chance of recovery amongst everyone here. Those words made the 9 of them look at Ryoma in shock before Celia tore her gaze away to ask Worgen a question. I accept that he is the most suitable one here. But in that case, what are we meant to be doing? While Ryoma is dealing with the cleaning, you are to take shifts guarding the entrance and make sure no one enters. The door is built to remain unlocked while someone is inside. To make absolutely sure every gap was covered, I called you lot with disease resistance skills. Also, those with a neutral magic appraisal will confirm that Ryoma doesn't bring the epidemic out when he's done cleaning. Do you really need 9 people for a lookout? According to Ryoma, he believes the job can be done in 2 to 3 days, working non-stop. His health skill is a combination of disease, sleep, and poison resistance, apparently. This has been confirmed too. I see. That's why we're to take shifts then. Ryoma, was it? Will you really be okay? It won't be a problem. Working 2 to 3 all-nighters in a row was my daily life. Since I'm doing this of my own will, it'll actually be easier. Is that so? Well, if you accept the job, please keep an eye out for Ryoma and make sure he doesn't push himself too far. I'll give you all 10 minutes. In a way, this job is more dangerous than monster extermination. It won't be enforced, and there isn't a penalty for refusing. Give it some thought before you decide. Once Worgen said that, he and Ryoma left the room to give the participants a chance to decide. They all thought to themselves, until Jeff was the one to break the silence. "Huh. What'll you all do?" The dwarf adventurer named Gordon was the one who answered. "I'm participating. This is my town too. All my friends are here, so I cannot run away." Everyone stepped up after this. "I shall humbly accept too. Epidemics are a threat to be prevented at all cost. An epidemic in this town, huh? It sounds bad, but I'd feel worse leaving it all to that boy alone. Right? Our job is only to stand guard, anyway. The most dangerous job is being done by him alone. I can't run away from here." 10 minutes was almost too long for them to make their decision, and they all expressed their willingness to participate when Worgen and Ryoma returned. Worgen went on to explain the earth knowledge of diseases Ryoma had excused with his grandmother. And they went on to split the team into squads with haste.